بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Alright, so we're going to study Bab al-Fa'il once more. Today I will finish it inshallah, so next time we'll start with the chapter after that. But the point or the reason that I'm repeating Bab al-Fa'il, or I'm doing it more than once, is because it has a lot of pronouns in it. And it's the pronouns that make it a bit more confusing sometimes, or you can get confused based on the number of pronouns. The actual concept of al-Fa'il is quite simple. So I'm going to put it up here and start putting up the definitions that the Imam Alajurroomiyyah put in his text. So Bab al-Fa'il, let's just go with al-Fa'il. والاسم المرفوع المذكور قبله فعله. So it is the noun that is in the state of rafa' preceded by its verb, or is a subject in a verb-based noun, a sentence. So it's a subject in a verb-based sentence. Now there's a number of words here that if you don't know what they mean, then this sentence is very confusing to you. So the state of rafa' is one of them. Another is a verb-based sentence. These are two concepts that have to be clarify them so that you know what I'm talking about. There are four states of i'rab. There are four states of i'rab. One is rafa', one is nasb, one is jar, one is jazm. These states are states that words that have flexibility in a sentence can exist in. They can exist in these different states. They can be marfu', they can be mansub, they can be majroor, they can be majzoom. When we talk about nouns, because this is a noun, remind yourself, a subject, a fa'il is a noun, right? Nouns can be marfu', mansub, or majroor. They can't be majzoom. So one of the three. So when it says in the state of rafa', means it's going to be here. What does that mean? So we learn two things from saying the word state of rafa'. First of all, we understand what are words that are marfu'. They are main untainted characters in a sentence. So it's a main character, it's untainted, unaffected by anything external. That's what the word marfu' means. That's why these statuses exist. They explain, they tell you something about this word immediately. So if it's mansub, you know it's a secondary character, or a main character that's being tainted in the sentence, means affected by something outside. Majroor is an unnecessary part of the sentence. That's why these statuses exist. Now when you say something is marfu', you ask, well, what is the marker of rafa'? How do I know? How do I know that it's marfu'? Well, there are different markers for a noun being marfu'. What are the different markers that we have? So the different markers of rafa' is a dhamma, the mini vowel, yes? Dhamma, okay, what else do you have? Do you have another one? Yes, the alif. What else do we have? The waw. Very good. So these are the three markers of rafa' for nouns. These are the three markers. If you go back to the first couple of videos of this study, then that's what you'll find. The alif is the marker of rafa' in the dual form. In the dual form, talk about two things: mu'minan, musliman. That's the marker of rafa'. It's an alif for the dual form. For the waw, it's a marker of rafa' for the masculine. Yes, masculine sound, plural, jama'. Very good. That's one. Another one is the 5 exceptional nouns. What are the 5 exceptional nouns? Abu, akhu, hamu, dhu, fu. Father of, brother of, in-law of, owner of, and mouth of. And then you say something after it. Yes?
In the dual form, they say ذهب مسلمان What's the noon? What's the حركة on the noon again?
Kasra, Muslimani. Always a kasra. But it's not a marker. See, that's why I said the word marker. The marker of rafi' is not the kasra on the noon. That's just there. It's not. The marker is the alif. The marker is the alif, not what's on the noon. It's not muslimanu or muslimana or muslimani. It's always muslimani. It's always in the dual form. The noon always has a kasra on it. Why? That's how it is. It's not the marker. The marker is the alif or the ya in muslimain. The marker of nasab and jar. In that case, it would be right. But the marker for rafi' is going to be the alif, musliman. Now the dhamma is for everything else. It's for the single noun, plural now, broken plural. So the broken plural for the feminine sound plural. Everything else, right? So this is just to make sure that the definition is clear. When I say that the fa'il is a noun that is a state of rafi' in a verb-based sentence, so you need to make sure you know what a verb-based sentence is. Finally, we have three types of sentences. Right? Sentences are three things. We either have verb-based, we have noun-based, or we have complex. Noun-based means it starts with a noun and it's continued with a noun. Like a noun at the beginning, noun in the middle. The whole thing has nouns in, no verbs in it. Verb-based means it starts with a verb. Complex means there's a verb but somewhere in the middle, not at the beginning. So it starts with a noun, ends with a verb, starts with a verb, and then has a noun sentence inside. So it's a verb-based sentence with a noun-based sentence inside of it, or a noun-based sentence with a verb-based sentence inside of it. So there are three types of sentences. The fa'il is a subject in a verb-based sentence, right? In a verb-based sentence. So over here, a sentence that begins with a verb, right? That starts with the verb, then the fa'il is the subject of that sentence. Complex, yeah, so it's a complex sentence that has, so a verb based with a noun based inside, or noun based with a verb based inside, either way. So these are the words you need to know in order for you to understand the definition of what a fa'il is, what a subject is, in a verb based sentence. Alright, so this is clear inshallah, the concept? Okay. Now Imam Ibn Ajurroom, rahimahullah, he said that there are two statuses or two categories for the fa'il. Two categories for a fa'il. What are the two categories of the fa'il? So we'll start over here. Al-fa'il. Right? So a subject in a verb-based sentence. It's either zahir, apparent, or mudmar, implicit. One of two things, right? Zahir means it's a noun. Implicit means pronoun or estimated pronoun. It's either a pronoun that's written, said, verbalized, vocalized, articulated, or is going to be an estimated pronoun, right? So examples of all this stuff. So we say Ja'a Ahmed. Ahmed is the verb, is the subject. Ja'a came is the verb, right? So it's a verb-based sentence. It started with a verb. That means it's going to have a subject. It's going to have a fa'il. The subject is going to be what? Always going to be marfu'. Always the subject, that's the definite. The subject is always going to be marfu', right? So Ahmed is a subject, it's a noun, it's going to be marfu'. What's the marker of rafi' in a single noun? Dhamma. Right? So keep I'll put it up here just for you to cheat off. So markers, your cheat sheet. So markers of rafi'. These are for nouns.
Cheating in the mosque?
Yes, in the mosque. See? I have fallen.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar,
Allahu Akbar.
Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la
لا حول ولا قوة. لا حول ولا قوة. Okay? الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله صلى الله عليه محمد وعلى آله أجمعين. اللهم غير ذلك التالي والصلاة القائمة على سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وسيد كل درجة العالية الرفيع وعث اللهم القول المحمود وعدت إنك لا تخلف الميعاد. So a dhamma, whether it's apparent or estimated. Sometimes it's apparent dhamma, sometimes estimated dhamma. Doesn't make a difference. This is the simplification. So this is your cheat sheet. Whenever I give a subject and I say what the marker is, I'll tell you what type of word. Go over there immediately and find out what the marker of rafa is going to be for it, just to help you kind of keep things flowing. So Ja'a Ahmed, that's one. A pronoun.
Now, what's that word for implicit?
Mudmar. Mim dad, mim ra. Mudmar. Which is what the Imam put in his book. Right? We'll recite that inshallah in a minute. So Ja'ana, or no, let's just use something different than that. It's not going to work. That's wrong.
Ja'a.
Yeah, I was just thinking of maybe something to kind of make it. All right. Let's say instead of Ahmed, Ja'a al-qawmu. So the group of people came, right? So this is what is this? This is a single noun. So what's the marker rafa for it? Dhamma. All right. So Ja'a al-qawmu, right? So if I want to say they came, I don't want to say al-qawm. I'll say Ja'u. Right? So this is a verb. It's a verb-based sentence. It's going to have a subject. It's going to have a fa'il. It's going to be marfu'. The subject, the fa'il here, is. Right? The drums are going off now. Is the waw here. The pronoun means they. Now that's this is the fa'il. Now the final example of this, that's a pronoun. Estimated pronoun, when you say he came. Where is he? It's an estimated pronoun. Right? It's here. Ja'a huwa. It's not being articulated, but it's there. You understand it. Ja'a. When I say what does ja'a mean, you'll say he came. Where did you bring he into the sentence? Yeah, it's understood. It's estimated. You know, it makes sense. All right. So what the Imam says, فاعل هو الاسم المرفوع المذكور قبله فعله. It is the noun in the state of rafa' that is preceded by its verb. وهو على قسمين, and it has two categories. ظاهر, apparent, ومضمر, implicit with a pronoun or estimated pronoun. فالظاهر نحو قولك, the apparent is like you saying, and then he gives examples. He says قام زيد ويقوم زيد وقام الزيدان ويقوم الزيدان, and he gives all the different types of words in the nouns in the Arabic language that can carry that can be subjects. And then والمضمر 12, and then he says the implicit are 12 types. We said me and Yusuf and I said there were 13, right? Altogether. And he gives examples. نحو قولك ضربت وضربنا, and he gives examples. So we're going to give our own examples. We're going to leave the examples that the Imam gave here. We're going to give our own examples, inshallah, of this. So I'm going to take this all down. I'm going to leave the markers up there just for. I'll leave the cheat sheet, but I'll take all this off. So remember, it's either an apparent noun, an apparent pronoun, or an estimated pronoun. That's what the subject is going to be. Okay, let's divide this in the middle. All right. So here we're going to do zahir. We're going to give examples of a apparent subject, a noun. And here we're going to do mudmar. Pronouns, implicit pronouns, and estimated pronouns. Okay, there should be enough space. You think so? No, right? The pronouns usually take a bit more. Yeah, pronouns take quite a bit more. So let's be smart about this, because usually I end up fighting for space at the end. Yeah, that'll work. For ظاهر, yeah, I need a bigger, yeah, I do. Need more colors as well. We'll have another cheat sheet in a second. All right, so ظاهر, let's start by making a single noun, a singular noun, let's make it a subject. So just like the example I gave a second ago, I said جاء أحمد or قام أحمد. It's a single noun. The marker of rafa is going to be ضمة. قام أحمد. Ahmed got up or stood for something. So let's try a broken plural. Think of broken plural. You want to think of a single noun, a singular noun, and then you want to pluralize it in a broken manner. It's not going to be a sound. It's not going to be un or at the end of it. It's neither. أقلام أقلام, right? Let's try the word صحف. Let's try the word صحف. يلا إجانا واحد حافظ Quran to give me examples from the Quran. Yalla, sit, turn on your Quran cap, inshallah, and give me examples of subjects. So I'm going to something with the hadith. وجفت الصحف, right? And the slates are dried. So jaffa is dry, is something drying up. So it's a verb. It's a verb-based sentence. We're going to have a subject after it. The subject is a suhuf. Suhuf, slates. The singular is sahifa. You pluralize, it becomes suhuf. How do you go from sahifa to suhuf? A broken plural. That's how it is. It's just, that's how it's memorized. Just know it like that, right? It's a broken plural. What is the marker of rafa in a broken plural? Right? Dhamma. Are we clear on why I'm saying these? So a sound feminine plural. Give me a sound feminine plural. Yeah, give me a sentence where it's a subject. If you can think of something in the Quran, that would be even better. If not, then I'm fine with any example. Yeah. So you want it has to be what? It has to be a subject. It has to be marfu'a, right? Think. Do we have examples? So if you say Muslimat, it doesn't have to be Quranic. Just think, how would you make it turn it into a subject?
Does it have to be plural?
For what?
When you're writing it down, does it have to be plural?
No, it can be a single noun, it can be a broken plural, it can be a silent plural. Dual form, it can be exceptional noun, it can be a silent, it could be different things. This is not plural. This is Ahmed is one person. It's a singular noun. It's a singular noun, right? All right. Nothing? So we're going to use a sound feminine plural first. So let's say something simple. قامت السماوات. The sama, when you add it, when you pluralize it, it comes to samawat. That's a sound feminine plural. قامت السماوات. They took a stand or they stood in obedience to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This here is what? A verb. It's a verb-based sentence. Here's the subject. What is the marker of rafa' in a sound feminine plural? Right? It's going to be a dhamma. Use your cheat sheet so you remember. Yes? Yeah, but saq is not a sound. It's not samawa. It has to be a sound feminine plural. What's a sound feminine plural? It's when the word is taken and you add to it alif and ta. You add to it, so muslima, and then you add alif and ta, it becomes muslimat. Mu'mina becomes mu'minat. Sama, it becomes samawat. So a saq, right? There's no at the end of it. Correct? Yeah. So now let's try a dual form. Give me a dual form. Qala. That's a verb, right? So it's a verb-based sentence. The subject qala rajulan. What is the marker of rafa here? The alif. Clear? So the marker is the alif. If I say qala rajulain, you would say sit down, let someone else teach this. Because you don't know what you're doing. It's qala rajulan. Qala rajulain makes no sense. Or you have to understand the sentence in a whole different way. I mean, there's a completely different way of looking at this sentence altogether. Because you're saying that this is not the subject anymore. So how does that sentence work? You have to figure it out. So that's one way. So let's try a 5 exceptional noun. جاء أبوك يا محمد. Huh? جاء came, right? It's a verb-based sentence. Here's the subject. It's marfu', like I said all the time. What is the marker of rafi' and the 5 exceptional noun? Are you seeing the idea here? I'm trying to get you guys to just use that. Don't think about it. Use it. Just keep on looking at it until you memorize these little details. So the marker rafi' here is the waw. Here is the alif. Here is the dhamma. Dhamma. All right. Give me another. Give me a sound masculine plural. Salla. It's a prayed. It's a verb. It's a verb-based sentence now. It's going to have a subject. The subject, the fa'il, is going to be marfu'. I want to say Muslim. So what do I say? Why do I say Muslimun, not Muslimin? The marker of it is what? A waw. Are you understanding how it works? So you don't say Muslimin. You have to say Salal Muslimun, because the marker rafi' in this word is going to be the waw. Is that clear so far? So these are examples of zahir, of a subject, of a fa'il that is zahir, that is clear, that is clarified, that is articulated. Let's move this guy up a bit. All right. There's one more we can do here, just for the benefit of kind of wrapping it up. So let's say, and I did this for you guys before. قام صاحبي. Qama, got up. It's a verb-based sentence. A verb-based sentence. Now, who is the subject here? My friend, right? It's my friend. What is the marker of rafi' an sahibi?
It's an estimated dhamma because you can't put a dhamma on.
Very good. So it's an estimated dhamma on the ba. Because this ya of possession comes and ruins things for us. It's supposed to be qama sahibu, right? But when I added the ya of possession to it, my friend, it came and it made this estimated. You can't see it anymore. So it's a marfu' fa'il. The subject is marfu', it's there. Just the marker of it is going to be an estimated dhamma because you can't see it. What else would work here? So qama. Let's give another example. Yani qama Musa. Musa is the subject, right? Where is the marker of rafa'? It's a singular noun. You're going to say immediately dhamma. Where's the dhamma? Yeah, estimated on the alif, because you can't say it. Musa'u. No one says that. It's Musa. Just leave it. The dhamma is estimated on the alif. Does that make sense? These are just the last two in case of specific situations where things are estimated. All right, let's go to mudmar now. Now let's break down the pronouns. Now this is always a bit challenging. People always mix up pronouns, but I'll keep on, inshallah, reading this to you guys until you finally, inshallah, make sense of it. Yes? The fa'il, yeah, it's fine. What the verb is doesn't make a difference here. It's not. My focus is that you identify that it's a verb. It's a verb-based sentence, and then you focus on the subject itself. But yeah, you can have a verb, a mudari' verb or a present tense verb. It's all the same. You can say yaqumu sahibi, yusalli, ya'ti, yaqulu, all the same, because it doesn't matter the tense of the verb really. Can you identify a verb and then see after it a subject who is performing what the verb is indicating, or you can't do that. And if you can do that, then you know that subject is going to be marfu', and you have to know what the marker of rafi' for it is going to be based on what type of word it's going to be. Is it a dual form, so it's an alif? Is it a 5 exceptional noun, or the sound masculine plural is going to be a waw? Is it going to be anything else, so it's a dhamma, whether written or estimated? Okay. Now let's break down the pronouns into different categories. What's a good way to do it? What did you guys like last time? There's different ways to categorize.
Singular plural.
Singular plural is not, I think it's just confusing. How about we use addressed, speaker, addressed, and third person? Can we try that? Speaker, someone who's speaking. Addressed, someone you're speaking to. And then third person, someone you're speaking about. And that, I find that to be easiest way to understand pronouns. So speaker.
I used to be a song on Space Tune. It would say all of them.
Yes, I remember that. We have to bring. I should bring that in, inshallah, and play it for everyone every time to see if everyone can memorize that at some point. So we'll start with speaker, then we'll go to address, and then we'll go to third person. So speaker, it's one of two things only. It's either singular or plural. There's no dual form for the speaker, right? So singular. We're gonna take the standard verb. The standard verb is fa'ala. The standard verb is fa'ala, did something, right? So we're gonna take the standard verb to work with this. So what would I say if I'm talking about myself? Fa'altu, very good. So I would say fa'altu. So fa'ala is a standard verb. And fa'altu. Okay. Where is the pronoun here of me doing it? It's the ta with the what on top of it? The dhamma. It's not just the ta, it's the ta with the dhamma on it. The ta is a dubious one. The ta, depending on what you put on it, will mean different things. The ta with the dhamma means I did, the speaker. I did something. Fa'altu. Now, plural. What we say plural? Fa'alna. It's plural. So we did it. We did it. What is the pronoun that is actually the subject here? The na, right? So na. Instead of saying, we don't say in Arabic, fa'ala ana. You don't say that. That makes no sense. If you say that, people will laugh at you, no matter who you are. Right? You have to say fa'altu. In English, I did. Well, you just put the I and then the thing. In Arabic, no. Ana is me. Fa'ala did. So it makes sense. Fa'ala ana. I did. No, it doesn't work like that. You have to say fa'altu. That means I did. Because these pronouns, you have to add them up to the, you have to attach them to the verb. Yeah? So these, fa'ala is a verb. It's a verb-based sentence. It's going to have a subject. The subject here, unfortunately, is not a noun. It's a pronoun, right? The pronouns, you have to identify what that pronoun means. You see the ta with the dhamma, you know the speaker is speaking of himself. قُلْتُ فَعَلْتُ. The Quran is filled of it when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks of himself in terms of doing things. Right? Sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about himself in the plural. And it's called the grand pronoun. So kings do that about themselves a bit sometimes, right? So if I did something, it's a we said this, and we, who's we? It's only you, but because he's grand, he's a king. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when he speaks of himself, sometimes with qulna, right? We said, why na? It's only one, because it's the grand. And English has that as well. English is, if you study Shakespearean English, it's everywhere. And it's known, it's called the royal pronoun, or the pronoun of royalty. Yes?
I've always wondered that, like, in the Quran goes against the
Yeah, it's called the royal pronoun. Instead of saying me, saying we, it brings royalty. Yes. Yep, it's royalty. It's all the royal pronoun. It exists in every language, by the way, not just Arabic. Okay, so this is speaker. Simple enough? Is that simple? It's simple, right? If I'm talking about myself, I'm either talking about myself in the singular, fa'altu, qultu, qumtu, ji'tu, sallaytu, whatever. If I'm doing it in the plural or dual, I'm going to add the na. It's going to be fa'alna, sallayna. These guys here, the pronouns, they are the subjects. They are the subjects. All right, they are the fa'al. Now, let's take addressed. What does addressed mean? So when we're speaking to someone, we're going to use pronouns. I don't say fa'ala anta. You did. In English, you did, you anta, did fa'ala. I don't say fa'ala anta. Right? That sounds crazy. What do you say when you're speaking? To single male. What do you say? Fa'alta. When I'm speaking to one person, I'm speaking to a guy, I'm talking to you. You did something right or you did something wrong. In Surah Al-Shu'ara, وَفَعَلْتَ فَعَلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. وَفَعَلْتَ. You did what you did. You did that thing that you did. Fir'aun is talking to Musa. You see, well, the ta was just, yeah, but the ta with the dhamma was me. The ta with the fatha, that's you. So a small mistake in using the right mini vowel can actually ruin the sentence. It can ruin it. Fa'altu means I did. If I meant you, then I just messed everything up here. If I say fa'alta and I mean myself, that's a mistake. You have to make sure you're using the right, the ta with the fatha, the ta with the dhamma. It's a verb. Fa'al is a verb-based sentence. A verb with a verb-based sentence. It has to have a subject. The subject here is not a noun. It's a pronoun. The subject is the ta. Okay. So that's a single male. What's next? Single female. So we're talking to a single female. What do I say if I'm talking to a single female? Yes, fa'alti.
الفرق بين الفعلتي والكسرة والفعلتي بالياء.
فعلتي بالياء doesn't exist. That's the difference.
What about ربي وربي?
That's different. That's not a verb anymore. That's possession. That's like صاحبي. Right? If you take away the ya, that's called takhfif. It's just to make it simpler. There's no grammatic reason for doing that. But we're talking about nouns, right? Verbs. Verbs are much more strict in their rulings. Nouns have more flexibility, right? Fa'alti. Fa'alti, you did. You're speaking to a lady. Because in Arabic, in English, you did. Whether I'm speaking to a man or a woman makes no difference. In Arabic, no, it makes a difference. I say fa'alta, then I'm talking to a man. Fa'alti, then I'm talking to a woman. Okay. Single female. What's address? We're talking to people. We're not talking about people, we're talking to people. So who are we going to talk to as well? Dual. Is there a difference between dual male and dual female when you're speaking to them? No, there's no difference when you're speaking to them. Very good. Or? Fa'altuma. You have the idea. But Yusuf beat you to the... Fa'al-tuma. So fa'ala is a verb, it's a verb-based sentence, it's going to have a subject after it. The subject is not going to be a noun, it's going to be a pronoun. The pronoun is tuma. Tuma. Fa'al-tuma, you both did. It's funny, in English it's all going to be you. We're going to have 6 or 7 different variations in Arabic. In English it's all you did. So it's like you have an Arabic guy and an English guy. The Arabic guy is saying fa'alta, fa'alti, fa'altuma, fa'altunna, and then he says you did, you did, you did, you did, exact same word, no change at all, because they don't differentiate when they're addressing someone in front of them in terms of what gender or how many or the number. They just use you. However, in Arabic it's very different. In Arabic it's very much more precise in the pronouns process. So dual. What else do we have?
Feminine.
So plural. Masculine or group of, I don't know, a masculine plural. Let's say masculine plural. Just that makes more sense. So masculine plural. So we're talking to a group of men or to a group of men and women. You still speak to them as if you're speaking to men. So what do you say? Fa'altum. Very good. Ahsant. You say fa'altum. Fa'altum. Again, it's the same exact concept. It's a verb, it's a verb-based sentence. It has to have a subject. The subject here is a noun. Here there's no noun. It's going to be a pronoun. The pronoun is tum. It's tum, fa'altum. You did. Still you did, but you as a group of males or a mixed group did something. So feminine plural. So when we say feminine plural, it's a group of strictly females. So feminine. So what do you say? Fa'altunna. Fa'altunna. Same exact concept. The subject here is a pronoun, and here is the pronoun. فعلتن, the ta and the noon. Tunna. Is there anything else, anyone else we can talk to? I think we've spoken to everyone we can speak to. We've spoken to the single guy, the single lady, the two people. We've spoken to the group of guys and the group of ladies. Anyone else left? I think we've spoken to everyone we can. Now, so here, what's the last one that we haven't done? Is third party. So we're talking about someone. We're not talking to someone, we're talking about someone. All right? Here we were talking about the speaker was speaking of themselves, and here we were talking to someone. Here we're going to talk about someone else. Right? So let's start by the simplest. Let's say we talk about a single guy, a single male. Yusuf and I are talking about Brother Khalid, and I told you what he did. So you tell me, you just say fa'ala. Right? This is the example of the estimated pronoun. Do you remember now? This is the estimated pronoun. So the pronoun is huwa, like Brother Yusuf said, but it's estimated. If you say huwa fa'ala, now it's what is a noun-based sentence, and huwa becomes a mubtada, and it becomes a complex sentence. Everything changes. Fa'ala huwa, you never say that. If you say that, then huwa becomes tawkeed, becomes an emphasis. It's not a fa'al. The fa'al is still an estimated pronoun. These are more complicated things. But for now, we just you simplify it by learning it this way, and then you can add more any pieces of information as you go along. So we're going to talk about a single female.
فعلت.
فعلت. أحسنت. So where is the pronoun? Where is the subject here? Ta is not the subject here. This is the only ta that's not the subject. Here it's a subject. Here it's one. Here it's one. Here it is not. Here is an indicator that the subject is a female. This is an indicator. It's not the subject. The subject is also an estimated pronoun fa'alat hiya. And this here is an indicator. See how evil the ta is? It's an evil letter. It can do so many different things. It can confuse you. If it has a dhamma, it means I did it. If it has a fatha, it means you did it as a man. If it has a kasra, you did it as a woman. And if it has a sukoon, it means she did it without even she being a part of the sentence. It's just an indicator. It's no longer a fa'al anymore. Okay.
Yeah, it was 50-50.
It's okay. That's fine. Yeah, so fa'alat. Right, so here the subject is an estimated pronoun.
What's فعل? فعلت.
Fa'alt, but you have to say what the ta has on it. You can't say fa'alt with a sukoon. You have to say fa'altu, ta or ti. One of the three. You can't say fa'alt with a sukoon on the ta. Now you can stop like that. Sometimes say ana fa'alt, because I stopped. When you stop, you can put a sukoon on any letter, but it has to be clear. It has to be clear on what you meant. If you say fa'alt, when no one understands, I can ask you, clarify please, who did what? So that they know who you're talking about. All right. So we talked about a single male, we talked about a single female. Let's talk about dual male. Two dudes, what did they do? You said it a while ago, Ahmed. See, you could have said it. You're talking about dual males, what do you say? Two guys. Talking about two guys, they did something, what would you say? Very good, fa'ala, I see. Fa'ala. It's a verb-based sentence. The verb at the beginning of it, the subject is a pronoun. The pronoun here is the alif. This is not a marker of anything. See? These are called markers for nouns. This is a pronoun. This is actually a subject. It's just not verbalized. It's not a noun. It's a pronoun, right? Don't confuse what's a marker and what's an actual subject in a sentence. If we talk about two ladies, we're talking about two sisters. They did something. We say
فعلتا.
أحسنت ممتاز فعلتا.
Can you think of an example for dual female in the Quran?
There is one. قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء in Surah Al-Qasas. They said, the two sisters, Shu'aib's daughters, when they were speaking to Musa, Musa asked them, what are you doing? Why don't you take your sheep to drink? قالتا, they said, قالتا لا نسقي حتى يصدر الرعاء. Until all the shepherds leave, we don't let our sheep go and drink. So the word in that surah is قالتا. Right? An example for the فَأَكَلَا مِنْهَا, when we talk about Adam and Eve alayhim as-salam in Jannah, فَأَكَلَا مِنْهَا, they both ate from the tree. It's not just Eve who ate, or it's not just Adam. فَأَكَلَا, they both did it. فَأَكَلَا, right, with the alif, فَأَكَلَا مِنْهَا. So what is it's the alif. It's also the alif.
And the ta?
No, the ta is like this one. It's an indicator. The ta here is also an indicator like that one. But they look different, right? They look different. It's an indicator of ta'nith, ta'nith. All right. So what's the second group you can talk about?
Masculine.
Yeah, so masculine, plural. So we're talking about a group of guys or a mixed group of guys and girls. Okay? A group of guys or a mixed group of guys and girls. So what would you say? Fa'alu. Fa'alu. What is where is the subject here? Who's the subject? Right, the waw is the subject. It's a verb-based sentence. It needs a subject. It needs a fa'il. The fa'il is the pronoun of the waw. Fa'alu. They did it. They did it. You could say fa'ala al-muslimun, or you could say fa'alu, depending on whether people know what you're talking about or they don't know what you're talking about. The final group, feminine, plural, or a group of strictly ladies or women. You would say, this is a quiz question. What would you say? Ahsant. Very good. Bravo alayk ya Hamdi. So fa'alna. And the noon here. Now, to be proper, the noon here is not the subject. The noon here is an indicator like the ta. And hunna, fa'alna, right? So the noon here is noon al-niswa. There's a difference of opinion among scholars on whether it's, but that's how you say it. You say fa'alna. You see, without the alif, you're talking about a group of ladies. With the alif, you are talking about yourself as a group. You see how things change dramatically? If you take off an alif and you go from speaking about what you did as a group with people, or the royal we, and you go to talking about a group of ladies, it's a huge shift in meaning. It's a huge shift in what you're talking about and what you're actually bringing forward. Fa'alna. How confusing is this? Extremely? All right. But you see the breakdown? This is the breakdown. If you learn these, meaning if you learn all the different pronouns, then you will be able to decipher a lot of what the Quran is saying. Because the Quran has a lot of these things, a lot of pronouns. It's filled with pronouns everywhere. If you're capable of identifying these pronouns, then you understand at least what the Quran is talking about from a general perspective. Yes?
Can you say a sentence with just feminine plural, because I don't know how to say it.
All right, let's see what we have in the Quran. I'll put it over here. Ya Nisa an-Nabi. Oh no, let's not use that one. Let's say an atayna bifahishatin. They committed capital sin. Atayna is actually ata. It's like fa'ala. Then you add to it the noon, so it becomes atayna. This alif turns back to its origin, which is a ya, then becomes atayna. Let me give you another example. يا أيها النبي إذا جاءك المؤمنات يبايعنك على ألا يشركن بالله شيئا على ألا. You memorize سورة الممتحنة يا حمدي? Not yet. على ألا يشركنا بالله شيئا ولا يسرقنا ولا يزنين ولا يقتلن أولادهن ولا يأتين ببهتان يفترينه بين أيديهن ولا يعصينك في معروف. So look, it's a verb and the noon with a fatha at the end of it. So this means we're talking about the feminine plural. Talking about a group, we're talking third party group of ladies. Talking about a third party group of ladies. We just have a different verb at the beginning of each, before it. This is a nice breakdown. If you take a picture of this, if you want to memorize all this stuff, so that you can hold on to it. And you can always keep it as a cheat sheet in the halaqah for the coming lessons. So take a picture of it, keep it with you. Every time I ask you what the pronoun is, just look at it. Don't memorize stuff, just keep it with you. So you can always refer to it as you go along. So you can always just, okay, what was the thing that he said last time? And you can look at it. I don't expect you to be able to memorize it in 1 or 2 or 3 sittings, just as long as you keep on referring to it as you go forward. Okay, let's do some examples. So هذا شوف the Quran people. Give me examples of subjects, because this is a subject. We've studied everything there is to study about a subject. We've completely done talking about subject. We've talked about what it means to be marfu'. We've talked about what it means to be in a verb-based sentence, right? We've talked about the fact that it's a noun. We talked about that sometimes it's going to be apparent, it's going to be a noun that is articulated and is written, and sometimes it's going to be implicit. It's going to be an implicit. Sometimes it'll be actual written pronoun, right, here. And sometimes it'll be an estimated pronoun, like huwa and hiya and hunna. Correct? And that's basically breaking down the subject. The subject, the fa'il, the concept of it is very, very simple. There's really not much to understand, as long as you can spend some time working on working on the pronoun. So let's give you, if you don't have examples, I'll give you guys some examples from the Quran. Yes, go ahead.
Singular speaker.
Singular speaker, give me. فقلت. Fa is an and or then, so you can take that out if you want to understand the sentence. So you say قلت. قلت, قال is a verb to say something, right? And the ta is the subject of that verb-based sentence, and it's referring to me. I said, فَقُلْتُ اسْتَغْفِرُ. All right, someone give me plural from the Quran. Think. Yalla Muhammad, put the phone down and think. What is it? Give me an example from a plural speaker from the Quran. It's going to look something like فَعَلْنَا. فَعَلْنَا, we did. Give me the ayah though. Don't just tell me you throw me a word. Give me an ayah. وقلنا من بعده لبني إسرائيل اسكنوا الأرض. Or وإذ قلنا للملائكة, right? So anyway, so قلنا, so we're holding on to saying, fine. ظلمنا, very good. To make it more diverse. So ظلم is a verb, to oppress, right? We did it because here's the pronoun of na. It's a speaker. We oppressed ourselves. This is what Adam and Eve alayhim wassalam said in Jannah. رَبَّنَا ظَلَمْنَا أَنفُسَنَا. We oppressed ourselves. Correct? Right. Someone give me the single male. Addressed single male. Think. The addressed single male. So it's going to sound like فَعَلْتَ. I gave you an example of it in Surah Al-Shu'ara. وَفَعَلْتَ فَعَلَتَكَ الَّتِي فَعَلْتَ وَأَنْتَ مِنَ الْكَافِرِينَ. Give me an example of a different one. Can you think of one? Yeah, Sheikh. Come on, turn your caps on. لا إن كنت قلته فقد علمته. Yeah. So when Isa said, he's arguing his case in front of Allah, he said, if I had said what they say I said, you would have known about it. You know about it. I didn't say it. In kuntu qultuhu faqad alimtah. Right? Alimtah. So alima is to know. It's a verb. It's going to have after it immediately a subject. The subject is the ta with the fatha on it. Then you knew, and then the ha is a pronoun of it. You knew it. Alimtah. You see, you knew it, 3 words in English, 1 word in Arabic. 1 word in Arabic. So inshallah next time I'll give you examples if you, but bring some examples and try to use that as something to base on. Jazakumullah khair. We're going to go pray Isha. Inshallah jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallah hamdik. Shadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Sallallahu alayhi wa Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in.
بارك الله فيك.